Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another Morning Coffee Talks. It is Tuesday. I'm back at work, or at least heading to work. And man, these last 2 days haven't been the best of productivity, but it's fine. It's fine. When you're looking at the line chart, again, it's not always, you're not gonna always ride the highs. You know what I mean? But it's okay to be flat a little bit too. But what we don't want to do is always have so many lows. But as long as, again, it's like the stock market, as long as the trajectory is moving up over time, then you're moving in the right direction. Again, what you don't want to do is have a market crash on yourself, right? And so, yeah, but overall, it's time to get back to it. Again, I actually like working because it kind of forces you to stay productive. When you off, man, it's sometimes it's just hard to maximize the same productivity, right? And so sometimes you need that work to kind of help push you along as well, as far as your personal survival is like your day job or whatever. So, but as you're moving, towards your goals and staying productive, you have to audit the people around you. You have to audit your friends. And at some point, you got to ask, are your friends either elevators or anchors, right? And when you look around to like however many friends you have, let's say the five, or just even the five people that you spend the most time with, are they pulling you up or dragging you down? Because whether you realize it or not, your friends are either elevators lifting you higher, or they're anchors and they're keeping you stuck, right? So what I'm learning more and more, and I realized this when I was younger too, especially like coming out of high school in my early 20s. Who you surround yourself will determine your trajectory. You're the sum of your environment. If your circle is weak, so is your potential. And man, if you want to grow, you might gotta leave some people behind. You just have to. And I have a story of me having to cut off one of my best friends when I was earlier. And it hurt, man. It did. But I knew that if I stuck around, then sooner or later I would be in the same predicament because you like a chain link. If you stay on that chain link, you're just gonna add more and more links, and after a while it's gonna really be harder and harder to break away. So, that was just something that I learned even earlier on, and it's even more important now that you're older because again, being that we're all men out here and we want the best out of life, it's about resources. And when you're younger, you don't really understand that. But as you get older and you go through the life and start to build a life you want, it's very important to have certain people around you. And again, I don't want to sound like you're just using people, but we all rely on each other. And you need strong people to rely on who can bring value and who's a resource. And you're a resource to them as well. So what are the type of anchor friends? You know, what are some signs that you might have some friends that are anchors, right? I would say they discourage your growth. Like, let's say you want to hit the gym, or they feel like you're working too much, or they feel like you're going too hard. They're like, while you're always working, hey man, you've been going to the gym 5 days a week. You can go three. Um, just chill, man. Try to have balance. This is one of the things I was saying earlier, and it's crazy, like me hearing it now. And I think again, it was unintentional, but it definitely was harmful. You know what I mean? Because when somebody's like really going hard on their journey, you want to keep pushing them, not tell them to slow it down, not tell them to have balance and stuff like that. You want to push them until they they may be shooting for the stars, but you may want to push them and then let them land in the clouds. Some people go past the clouds and make it to the stars, but you don't want to be an anchor friend. But it wasn't until like me personally, I started really being on my journey. And that's why it's so important for a man to have purpose, because when you're not on purpose, you don't understand when you might have another friend who really going hard sometimes, right? But again, those anchor friends, they distract you, man, with things that don't move you forward. They don't. And a lot of times, I'm looking back in my life, they want to party a lot. It's a lot of gossiping, a lot of laziness. And again, just because they're not on a purpose, man. And again, it's one of those things when you're younger, you don't always know what it is, but I think work ethic plays a lot, to kind of push you towards, where you wanted to go. And lastly, I would say they don't challenge you, man. Like again, they just comfortable, and they want you to stay comfortable too. And a lot of it is a situation where they're just not purpose driven, right? Or that's all they know. They haven't been exposed to, people around them that starting businesses, or, a household they grew up in where nobody was, striving to just have better in life, you know. And that's what they know. They just wasn't exposed to more stuff. So I would say that's like someone who's anchored. And again, there's a lot more examples of, different ways that people could be anchors and hold you back and attempt to keep you comfortable. But if you stay tied to them, you're never gonna really move forward. You can't you can't soar if you dragging dead weight, But on the flip side of the coin, what are some friends who are like elevators? How do they pull you up? I would say these are the friends that challenge you to think bigger and act accordingly. And I remember, man, I have another friend, shout out to my boy, man, G. And I remember as younger, man, bro was already, you know, attempting to do businesses. He was one of the first people to put me on like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and a lot of this stuff came to fruition for him later, like owning multiple houses, really, running his bag up. And he just always thought bigger. And that's what, for me, I was always inspired by it. And, even then, I just felt like me being around that so early kind of helped me cut my cloth a certain way, to be able to think bigger, to always like, push myself, even though like we all go through like different phases where, again, we at some point in life, your personal life is gonna have a market crash. Everybody go through it. But it's a reset. What I mean? You can't stay in the crash. You have to reset. You have to keep buying stock in yourself, right? But again, these people help challenge you to think bigger, act accordingly to get in line. Hey, shout out to Dame Dash, actually, man. I know like now where he is, like people ain't really feeling him like that. But if you listen to a lot of or see a lot of the old videos, listen to some of the old clips of music, and he'll just tell, like he was like just on it about, the group staying together and how they all, need each other as like if somebody fall, like if everybody's up and one person fall, it's easy to pick everybody to pitch in and pick that person back up. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Or you see other videos and him just saying how he played his position, he played his role, and he would just always be motivational. And I just always admired that, man. And again, personally, I don't know the dude, obviously, but just from his success early on with like Rockefeller and stuff, you can just tell he would just own it, man. And he led by example, and it's to this day he still got money. And I don't know what circumstances now, but I remember him shooting shows and stuff. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, have people around you that inspire you, that level up, and look for wins and celebrate your wins and push you to your limits and past your limits. And imagine you having a friend around you who disciplined, who focused, who who always pushing forward, who like really hitting the gym all the time, like staying in shape, who doing things that, push the needle. You always gonna be, it's always gonna push you in that way as well. Again, I like to refer back to when successful people or rich people say, man, if you want to be rich, get around rich people. You know what I'm saying? Because you start to pick up on different habits. You start to learn the language. You start to see how they move. And slowly but surely, you start to incorporate those same habits and beliefs as well. And so, it just being around people like that force you to step up, or you get left behind. And you'll learn and it kind of help you, because either you can become that friend and it help cut out the anchors around you, or it tells you um who really there with you as far as like pushing the needle to get to the next step in life. And it's there's different seasons where you always not going to be neck and neck, or side by side, but you know it's you can always tell, okay, man, this person, no matter where they at in life, they always gonna keep pushing and attempting to figure it out. you know and so yeah, those are people who are elevators, who gonna, they don't always gotta be the smartest, um or the yeah, they're always gonna be the smartest, but those type of people, they're gonna stay driven and keep pushing you in the right positive way. So those are the difference between that friends who are anchors and the friends who are elevators. And I would say, man, quickly identify who's what, because life too short and we all only got a limited time in this life. And again, we're fighting for resources out here. We're fighting to create systems that way later we can at least not work as hard to survive, right? We can put away a nest egg, in a sense, and allow that to feed yourself as you finish your life out, and hopefully be able to have enough money, or enough resources, not only money but resources, to help start your kids' life off, or help other people around you as you go on, to make it to that level as well, or at least have a more comfortable life. So just figure that out really quick. Who's the elevators and who's the anchors, and make make the appropriate decisions on who you're gonna cut off, or who you're gonna keep close. And let me say this. I know it's a little nuance, but really quick, you're gonna have family out there who, again, everybody's just not gonna be on it, man. And I don't even want to say it's unfortunate. It just is what it is. Everybody's just not gonna be on the same mind state. And again, that doesn't mean you have to fully cut them off. But I made a video about this. You have to protect your energy, though, right? You have to create distance. You have to create a buffer to only allow them to get so close to your inner circle. And that's just so they don't bring those habits, those self doubts and things like that into your energy. And you love them, from a distance. You only spend limited time with them. You don't give them all your time and stuff like that, like you would somebody who's an elevator, because they're also gonna add energy, to you. They're not gonna attempt to just suck it away. So, with that, if you don't have a lot of friends, who are elevators, first of all, become one yourself, right? Become a person of value, and look for communities. Shout out to the Toastmasters, man. It's a lot of people it's a melting pot when I go to anyway. A lot of a lot of like-minded individuals who, looking to better themselves by being better in public speaking, and they all come from different reasons, like work. They have different, entrepreneurial goals on why to do it, and so on, so on, and so forth. Different business groups, fitness groups. And again, it's just people who inspire, man, and not just entertain. So that's all I got today. But drop a comment below. Subscribe to the Husband Code if it's your first time, and if you have been watching for a while, subscribe to the Husband Code. And if you got any value from this video, hit the like button, And again, we're dropping videos like this every single day, so hit that notification bell as well. And until next time, I appreciate you guys. Much love. Peace.